Welcome to DowerChin.com. Today we're going to take a look at a case from Poetic. This is Poetic's quarterback case for the iPad Pro. And as you can see here, it's not really a case more per se, but it's a shell. And the thing about it, it's kind of a hard plastic shell, so it offers ample protection for the back side of your iPad Pro. Here, let's go and put my iPad Pro in here and let's see what it's like. Okay, so now it's in there. It's as easy as that. And we can see that it does cover it pretty well. Now it has a little bit of a raises up a little bit at the edges, so it doesn't come out too far to cause any problems. And you see that this side is completely open, and we'll talk about that in a moment. So looking at what the case can do, it's got a pretty decent thickness to the edges, but you can still get to the headphone port. It does not block the speakers, so you get the little holes here for the speakers. The power button is covered. A hole here for the microphone as well as the volume rockers. And here, this is kind of cool. This is a area where you can actually have your Apple Pencil and kind of have it sticking in there like that. Holds it pretty well. It won't fall out. It actually holds it pretty firmly, which is really nice. And then going on the side here, we have holes again for the speakers and an ample opening for the lightning connector. And now the nice thing about this side being open is that you have free access to the smart connector over here. So if you have the Apple keyboard like I do, you can grab it and stick it on, and it doesn't obstruct it, which is real nice. So then from here, it supports the on-off features, so it doesn't obstruct that as well. So you can see that the edges, they kind of go around it, and they don't obscure anything. So let's go to a desktop view and take a look at how this thing behaves when you actually try to use it. Okay, so now we're at desktop view, and you can see after the whole thing's assembled, you'll notice that the shell itself is thicker than the actual iPad. So you can tell from here that after a little bit after the red area, there's entire white area is all extra protection for the iPad Pro. So, and you can actually even tell from down here at the camera angle. Notice the deep bezel. That's where the camera is, and it doesn't block the camera, so it's nice. But but it is all a little bit of extra material at the bottom, so it does add a bit of thickness. Now, even with the thickness, though, it does not negatively affect the placement of the smart cover keyboard. So I can just kind of stick it this way, snaps in real good, and you can see that the angle is still just as good. You may not even notice anything. It's a little bit thicker, that's all. So it doesn't not impede performance at the slightest. So a nice thing here is the integrated pencil holder. You just kind of pull that out, and then be able to pull programs up like Adobe Sketch and work with your drawings in any particular way you want, and then stick it back up here, pops right back in. It's nice and handy. Now, other cases I've used before had blockages for the speakers. This does not. There are actual holes in here, so it does not negatively affect sound. So if I were to pull up a game I was playing earlier, little Crash Lands, you'll see that the sound is still just as booming. No negative effects whatsoever. So it is a really nice shell. And once again, it's sort of questionable whether how useful this is for you if you don't have one of these kind of covers, because this entire area is exposed. But if you have one, this is really quite a nice thing to have. If I get this to stick. So now the only thing that I have to a con that I have to point out, that some people have actually pointed out already, is that there are these little bolts over here that are there to kind of hold the white piece on top of this. Now they're not flush; they're little balls, and if you can see from here, they stick up just a little bit above the bottom shell here, and they are metal. Now they're smooth. Okay, they are smooth, but some folks I've talked to are a little bit worried about whether or not being, it doesn't really lie flat on the surface here. It lies on these little pegs, and whether or not that will scuff up or mar up the surface that it's on. I don't know, not sure. You'll have to decide if that's something going to be a problem for you, but that's the only real major negative I see of the case. In general, it's really nice. It's got a lot of nice design qualities to it. The fit and finish is really good, and it feels really good to have. It makes the iPad Pro a little bit bigger, but not a lot. It's not really into any detriment at all. And and having this integrated pencil holder, you can look here a little easier. It makes it really nice to be able to have it along, and it won't fall out. It's pretty snug in there, and you have to deliberately yank it to get it out. But it holds it really, really nice. So it's really quite a nice case. So if you're looking for a nice shell to go along with your smart cover or smart keyboard, the Poetic quarterback case is quite good. I do like it a lot. The only con, once again, is these little 4 pegs. May or may not be an issue for you, but there you have it. If you have any questions about this case or something I've not shown or you want to see, feel free to leave some feedback, ask some questions, or subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.